What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all doing well, and welcome to my 2020 NBA Draft Big Board. I'm super excited to get this video out to you guys. It'll be my first time putting my big board up on YouTube, so I'm really excited for you guys to see it. And yeah, if you guys do enjoy the video, please politely tap that like button, and if you're on your own here, please consider subscribing to my channel. We're on the road to 100, so every subscriber really helps. So, without any further ado, let's get into the video. At the top of my draft big board, I have Killian Hayes, the guard from Rashio Farm. Yes, you heard me correctly. I have the Frenchman out of Germany as my #1 prospect for this upcoming draft. Now, before you head down to the comments and call me an idiot, hear me out. He's an elite passer, able to find open shooters off the drive, and able to work the pick and roll to a high degree. He's a good off-ball defender and a good shooter off the dribble, which are all good skills to have as a primary ball handler. He'll need to work on his catch and shoot threes, as this will open up his game even more, allowing him to play off the ball as well. If he can do this, he'll be a dangerous offensive player and will provide value on the defensive end as well. At the #2 spot, I have James Wiseman, the center out of Memphis. Now, I wouldn't normally recommend teams draft a center in the top 5 unless they're absolutely sure that the player is going to be special, as previous drafts have proven that the value simply isn't there unless they're a high-end talent. Well, with that said, I do believe Wiseman could be one of those exceptions. At 7'1", 237 pounds, he's an athletic anomaly. He's a lob threat and a good finisher at the basket. With his 7'6" wingspan and athleticism, the defensive potential is there, but it's his jump shot that holds the key to unlocking his ceiling. If he can develop that, he could easily be one of the top 10 centers in the league in the future. However, even if he doesn't, he should still be a solid rim-running center who can hold his own on the defensive end. At the #3 spot, I have Anthony Edwards, a wing out of Georgia. Edwards spent his sole season in college with the Georgia Bulldogs, which is fitting as this perfectly represents him as a player. He's strong, athletic, and keeps coming back at you, giving him the potential to be a good volume scorer at the NBA level. His outside shooting and playmaking aren't where I'd like it to be, but those are things he can develop. If he can do that and marry it with his defensive potential, he could at least be a very solid NBA player. At the #4 spot, I have LaMelo Ball, the guard from the Illawarra Hawks. LaMelo has a lot of hype coming into this draft, partly because of his celebrity status, and partly because this is generally perceived as a weaker draft class at the top. That's not to say that LaMelo isn't a good player. He's an elite passer, but can be reckless. He's got good length and athleticism, but likely struggle to beat players off the dribble. His shooting will need work, but a lot of his bad misses can be attributed to poor shot selection, and his 72.3% free throw percentage provides hope that this can improve. He's very lackadaisical on the defensive end, but it's tough to know whether this is because of a lack of effort rather than lack of potential. He's definitely got a low floor, and I'm not sure his upside is high enough to justify having him any higher than #4. Coming in at #5, I have Onyeka Okongwu, the center from USC. Okongwu is a versatile big man who displays very good defensive potential. He reads the game well from the defensive side and is an excellent pick and roll defender. On the offensive side, he's a good finisher and post scorer, but his shot mechanics are not good and can lead to inconsistency on that front. He's also slightly undersized for his position and could potentially get bullied by bigger, stronger centers. Coming in #6, I have Tyrese Halliburton, the guard out of Iowa State. Halliburton is probably one of the safest picks a team could make in this year's draft. As far as draft prospects go, there's not much that can happen for him to not be at least a serviceable NBA player. He's a great passer, operates the pick and roll very well, and always makes the smart play. He's also got a lot of length and is a good defensive player. Despite his peculiar form, he's actually a very efficient shooter, and he reminds me a lot of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander when he came out of Kentucky. At number 7, I have Devin Vassell, the wing from Florida State. Vassell was one of my favorite prospects early on in the scouting process. He's a good 3-point shooter and defender, and he's a good off-ball player and flowed well in the Florida State offense. The big concern with him is that he recently changed his jump shot, and now it looks like this. Yeah, that's the yikes. But I suppose if they still go in, it doesn't really matter what it looks like. At the number 8 position, I have Deni Avdia, the wing from Maccabi Tel Aviv. Deni is a long and athletic wing with good court vision and playmaking fundamentals. He's a good defender as well. His shooting numbers were awful though, and his poor free throw numbers don't project him as a good shooter in the NBA. However, if he can put it together shooting wise, he has the potential to be a good NBA player. Coming in at the number 9 spot, I have Obi Toppin, the forward from Dayton. In terms of offensive ceilings, Toppin is right up there with the best in this draft. He has an amazing offensive skill set, able to operate in the pick and roll and finish at the rim, and projects to be a floor spacer. His defense will need to improve however, but the biggest knock on him is that he's just old. To give you an idea of just how old he is, he and Jason Tatum were born one day apart. At the number 10 spot on my big board, I have Cole Anthony, the guard from UNC. Cole Anthony is potentially the biggest boom or bust player in this draft. In a basketball context, he's met every challenge he has faced and excelled at every level he has played at. This all changed in his solo season at UNC. Unfortunately for him, his worst season of his life coincided with his most important. He had to lead a largely talentless UNC team and did so ineffectively and inefficiently. He's a good shooter, a dynamic playmaker, and has an appetite to make things happen for his team. It's tough to know exactly how good he is because most of the knocks on him can be argued to be because of the UNC team around him. But he definitely is one of the most intriguing players in the draft. At the number 11 spot, I have Tyrell Terry, the guard from Stanford. Terry is an elite shooter who marries this with exceptional work ethic and advanced off-ball movement. He operates the pick and roll really well, being able to beat defenders off the turn and find rollers. He's not likely to become a playmaking metronome, however, and while he has been able to put on some weight since his last college game, he still has a smaller frame. Terry is definitely one of my favorite prospects, and I have high hopes for the young PG. At spot number 12, I have Saddiq Bey, the forward from Villanova. Saddiq is a strong and physical wing who has great 3-and-D potential. He's one of the best shooters in the draft, and having grown up as a point guard, has an eye for a pass. However, he needs to be more aggressive on his drives, and too often settles for a mid-range jumper instead of going straight to the cup. I have Aaron Nesmith, the wing out of Vanderbilt, at the 13th spot. Nesmith had an outstanding sophomore season at Vandy, where he was able to display his scoring prowess. His scoring is definitely his biggest asset, buoyed by his amazing 3-point ability. He also goes about his business efficiently, and his good free throw numbers mean that his good shooting projects well into the NBA. However, he's not the best creator and will need to improve on his defense. At 14, I have Kira Lewis, the guard from Alabama. If there was one word to describe Kira, it would be fast.
How are you coming fast?
He's an extremely explosive player and gets to the cup with ease, and is able to marry both those things with exceptional body control and finishing ability. He's not a great shooter or playmaker, but is at least serviceable in those areas, and has room to grow. His defensive fundamentals could do with some work, and he won't be a super switchable defender. I know it's a bit of a lazy comparison, but he reminds me a lot of De'Aaron Fox when he was at Kentucky. At number 15, I have Aleksej Pokusevski, the center/forward/wing from Olympiacos. Remember when I said Cole Anthony might be the biggest boom or bust prospect in the draft? Well, meet his neighbor. This year's International Man of Mystery is a shooting guard in a 7-footer's body. He's an excellent playmaker and possesses a good handle for his size. His 3-point shooting is good, and with his 7'3" wingspan, he's able to shoot over the heads of defenders. The main concern with him is his weight, but if he can pack on some muscle and his body develops, we could be looking at a star in the making. To keep the video brief, I've only done an analysis of my top 15 prospects. Here are the other 25 in my top 40. If you enjoyed that video or learned something new, I implore you to please tap that like button for likely and subscribe if you are new around here. Once again, we're on the road to 100 subs, so each subscriber matters. And until next time, it's been Zachary McAllister of ZMC Productions. Have a good day.